You're watching the Common Constitutionalist Weekend Video Podcast.
Hello there, my name is Brent Smith and I'm the Common Constitutionalist inside. And it's actually a beautiful day outside, but I just got back from the gym and I am blank and exhausted. So I can't move. I haven't been to the gym in a long time just because of stupid things I've done to my body and hurt myself and whatever. So haven't been able to go to the gym for a long time, and then the stupid COVID nonsense shut the gyms down for a while. So go back there, bust my ass, and I am paying for it currently. Any rate, so podcast today, 2 topics. Trump, another foreign policy win, and is this poll actually right? Be right back right after this. So, another foreign policy win. The White House just a couple of days ago now announced that African nation of Sudan will be joining the growing coalition of Arab nations normalizing relations with Israel. I've spoken about this topic before, not too long ago, actually, when this first started coming up with Bahrain, particularly United Arab Emirates, okay? But there's already another update. And you may have heard it, you may not have, I don't know. And this, it's not just, in my opinion, it's not just my opinion, I think. This is demonstrably one of the greatest, if not the greatest achievement in foreign policy in the history of the world. Okay? And, of course, there's not a single mention of it at Thursday night's debate. Not one mention of foreign policy. Gee, I wonder why. Okay? Gee, I wonder why. So, but the greatest foreign policy achievement, you might say that's a pretty bold statement, Mr. Constitutionalist. Please expand on that so we can... Okay, so here's the deal. This is why it's so important, because it is a rebuke and a direct rebuttal to the 3, if you know anything about 1967, the Six-Day War and what came out of that, the 3 no's of Khartoum, not cartoon, but Khartoum, K-H-Toum, okay, Khartoum, that almost all Arab nations, I think 13 nations, signed on to this thing, and Khartoum just happens to be in the Sudan. Why is that important? I'll get to that in a second. Now, the 3 no's of Khartoum are no peace, no negotiations, no recognition of Israel at all. No peace with Israel, no negotiations of any kind with Israel, and no recognition of Israel of any kind, okay? We don't even recognize its right to exist. They all agreed to that. All 13 of these Arab nations agreed to that in 1967, and that's 53 years ago. It's over a half century ago that they agreed to that, and have held true to that until the Trump administration. Isn't that interesting? What a coincidence that happens to be, right? So why is this a big deal? The 3 no's of Khartoum. That this was basically a blood pact between the 13 Arab nations neighboring, basically, Israel. And it was like a promise not only to themselves but to Allah. Okay, in the presence of Allah, They made this blood pact to not recognize Israel, not negotiate with anything about Israel, and there will be no peace ever with Israel. Back in 1967, and again, it's held true for 53 flippin' years. So, now for a history lesson alert. Okay, now this is going to get educational for all you peoples. So if you're an ignorant leftist who wishes not to learn anything about actual history or real world facts, you don't want to let any of these historical facts, the real history, bleed into your liberal echo chamber bubble, for want of a better term. Not liberal, leftist echo chamber bubble. You best skip this portion or skip the entire thing here and get yourself to a Trump-hating website or a network like CNN or MSNBC, and you better do it stat. Get it? So let's go back to 1967. Let's get Sherman into the Wayback Machine, and we'll go back to 1967. In 1967, America was deep in the rice paddies of Vietnam, Cambodia, and every other place that we weren't supposed to be. China, Indochina, whatever, okay? The Israelis were where they've always been, trying to fend off the Arab nations since 1948-49, okay? Since they were a nation, they've been trying to fend off the Arab nations because of the, certainly since the blood pact, for sure. But there was another player involved in that 1967 era nonsense that went on between Israel and the Arab nations. And as Reagan put it, the evil empire, the Soviet Union. What a shocker. A communist empire making mischief, as it were, okay, influencing the other anti-Semitic peoples, the Muslims, okay? What a big shocker, okay? So they were trying to exert their influence with the Muslims in the region. So they made up some crap, and it was absolute crap. It was propaganda that is about Israeli aggression toward their neighboring Arab states. Well, the Israelis had never had aggression toward their Arab neighbors unless they were attacked first. Thus, all the different wars that they've had with the Arabs. Every time the Arabs were the aggressor, they attacked, Israel kicked the crap out of them. So back then there were UN peacekeeper troops in Sinai trying to keep the peace, because UN's really good at keeping the peace. Oh, brother. Well, Egypt believed the Soviets. Of course they believed the Soviets because they're of like mind that Israel was up to no good. And so they announced they were going to have a blockade of Israel so they couldn't get into the Red Sea through the Straits of Tiran. And that's how the Six-Day War came about. Okay, this led to the Six-Day War in June of 1967, and that's how long the freaking war took. 6 damn days. And Israeli kicked the asses of Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a fourth one joined in Iraq, and they got their butts kicked too. So it was pretty pathetic. And 6 days. When you think about a war that's 6 days, think about what quagmires we're in. Afghanistan for 20 frickin' years at this point almost. I mean, come on. It's just ridiculous. And these guys ended in 6 days. But they put the hurt on the Arabs. Okay, so after the Arabs got their ass handed to them by the Jews again, this was the third time, by the way. They got together in Khartoum, Sudan, and signed that dopey Three-Nose Pact. Okay, so are we getting the picture why this is such a big effing deal, as Joe Biden would say? Why this is the biggest foreign policy win in the history, not just the history of America. Now we're talking foreign policy here. Not the history of America, but in the history of the civilized or uncivilized world, okay? The Arab nations are voluntarily normalizing relations with the nation that they vowed before Allah, okay, and Muhammad, to never have any relations of any kind other than war, okay, other than attacking them. And this is without a single, three nations, three nations, 1, 2, 3, without a single shot being fired, have now normalized relations with Israel, and not a word at the debate. It's so sad. It's just so pathetic. I can't stand it. And again, this has never happened before in history without war. You have to have war first. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, okay? And then somebody sues for peace. Or somebody says, okay, war's over, we won, this is what you all are going to do, okay? And maybe eventually you'll become our ally, like Japan. Okay, Japan, we put the hurt on them, we bombed them back to the Stone Age with both nuclear and conventional weapons, and then they gave up finally, and now they're one of our closest allies, certainly in that region, that's for damn sure, okay? But it took a war. It took us to blow them into the Stone Age in order to get that peace. That's why this is so damn unique. You guys have to know this. That's why this is so damn unique. Now, is it real? I don't know. I have no idea. Nor does Trump, nor does anyone else. Okay? But if this is actual, real, lasting peace, and I'm telling you, as Trump said, and I agree with him wholeheartedly, 100%, that this isn't going to be the final shoe that drops. The Sudan isn't going to be the last one. You're going to get Yemen. You're probably going to get Saudi. If Saudi Arabia falls, I've said this before, all the Sunni Arab dominoes will fall, okay, in Africa, in the Middle East, and whatever, surrounding nations. So the only question at this point is, who's next? Because there will be a next, I guarantee you. Now, okay, you want another reason not to vote for Biden and to vote for Trump? A positive reason for Trump and a negative reason for Biden? This never would have happened if it weren't for Donald Trump. No chance in hell. No way. You know how I know that? Because it never did. Okay? Otherwise, we've had friends of Israel everywhere. Every president's been a friend of Israel until they're not. And they don't give a rat's because they're so worried about the stupid-ass, excuse my French, Palestinians. Whatever. Okay? They're all a bunch of freaking thug terrorists anyway. For the people of the Palestinian territory that aren't thugs, I feel very bad for you, but you need guys who need to handle your own country, assuming, or territory, or whatever the crap it happens to be, okay? But if Biden gets elected, all this goes away. This evaporates, maybe not overnight, but within a few months it's all gone, okay? Because Biden's going to go back to Iran and start making deals with the Shiite Iranians, and then it's all over, okay? Because Israel will know that we don't have their back anymore. And then that'll be the end of that. So that's a reason to vote for Trump, and that's a reason not to vote for Biden. If you think that this is important, and you can't believe, if you don't think this is important, then you shouldn't even vote. You shouldn't even have the right to vote because you're too damn stupid. Okay? Sorry. Just the way it is. I'll be right back.
You're watching the Common Constitutionalist video podcast.
Hey, welcome back. I'm still the Common Constitutionalist. Last I checked, I was still Brent Smith. Second and final topic. This is from Breitbart. The article is entitled Rasmussen, Trump approval among likely black voters jumps to 46% after the debate. If you're a regular reader at the Common Constitutionalist, you'll know that, hey, this sounds really familiar, because it is really familiar, because I just posted this article yesterday, Saturday, and I'm actually doing this podcast on Saturday, so I posted it this morning, okay? If you're seeing this on Sunday, I posted the article on Saturday, but it is so important that it needs to be broadcast also, video. President Donald Trump said, and again, if this is real, this is a huge effing deal, Joe. It's a huge effing deal. Just saying. Breitbart writes, President Donald Trump's approval among likely black voters jumped to... If you haven't heard this thing, you're going to fall out your damn chair, so you put a seatbelt on first. I'll wait for you. Okay. It jumped to 46 freaking percent. That's what Rasmussen, according to Rasmussen reports, date posted Friday morning, 2 days ago, less than 24 hours after the final debate. So you don't think what he had to say to likely black voters, you don't think it had an impact? Hells yeah, it did. Hells yeah. According to the tracking survey, Trump's approval jumped 9 points from Thursday to Friday, going from 30, and it was already 37%. This is insane for the black community. And these are likely voters. They're not registered voters. They're not just random black folks, okay? They're registered and likely black voters. This is insanity. Most white Republicans, certainly most Republican presidents, if they get 8 to 10%, it's a good bloody day in a presidential election. And we're talking almost half of likely black voters are saying, Trump's my man. Wow. Overall, Trump experienced a 24% bump in approval among likely voters just since this past Monday. That is incredible. The Rasmussen tweeted their poll, National Daily Black Likely Voter Job Approval for Trump. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. You know how this happened? Remember at the debate, Trump started knocking down what he's done for blacks, the majority black colleges, giving money to them, helping out enterprise zones and all this other stuff. Black unemployment lowest in American history, not just lowest since X, but lowest in American history, lowest in recorded history. Unbelievable. Monday, 10/19, this past Monday, he was at 25%, which is pretty blank and incredible as it is. And this has got to have the Democrats just scared to death. Tuesday, 10/20, he dipped a percentage point to 24. Wednesday, he jumped up from 24% to 31%. Thursday, 10/22, up to 37% prior to the debate. And after the debate on Friday, 10/23, it jumped to 46%. If these numbers are even close to being accurate, it's already over. Election's already done. The Democrats can't win without their customary 90-some-odd% plus, 95% plus of the black community vote in mass, okay? As if they just give all their votes to one guy and he goes into the polls and he votes as a lot. This is how the black community is going to vote. X marks the spot, bro. That's ridiculous. To vote monolithically like that is just insanity. So anyway, Trump is, if this is accurate, anywhere close, this is you'll have to pardon the term, this is a whitewash, okay? But a word to the wise, we all need to develop a warrior mentality, okay? Now, if you're looking at this saying, sorry about that, I hit the table and it went. So if you're watching this saying, well, you know, it's going to be a hassle for me to vote. I may have to wait in a long line. Screw that. If we got so much of this black vote, I don't need to vote. They're not going to need my vote. Yeah, the hell we're not. We need every Republican vote. We need every Democrat vote. We need every independent vote. We need every Martian vote. Okay? If the Democrats can get dead people and pets to vote, we can get Martians. Okay? And Venusians. Okay? Just saying. Everybody's got to go out and they have to develop a warrior mentality. Means not just win, but step on the necks and break the backs of the Democrats. I'm talking figuratively speaking. Duh. Okay? Or am I? No, I'm just saying. get out there and vote no matter what. Okay? If at the time that you're voting, it looks like Trump is just literally running away with this race and he can't win, you go and you vote, because the more votes that he has, the more political capital he'll have, and the more we can step on the necks of these leftists. Okay? These people need to be vanquished. We can't just beat them. We need to beat the piss out of them, and when they need to be vanquished, so they slither back under the rocks where they came, and we need to slide. It's like the Jesus stone in the cave before the resurrection. They slid that huge ass stone. They rolled that stone in front of the cave. All the leftists need to be stuck in that cave, and we need to roll that stone so they can't get back out and wreak havoc on us again. So this needs to be a freaking beatdown. So everybody, grab somebody, whatever, drag them to the polls, only if they're going to vote for Trump, if they're going to vote for Biden. This bullcrap of just vote. I don't even care who you vote for. No, if you're voting for Biden, don't vote. I mean, I might as well be honest about it, right? Just don't freaking vote. If you're voting for Trump, vote early and often. No, I'm kidding. But get out there in person, because that's going to make the biggest effect, the biggest impact on everybody. And let's step on their necks. Let's beat the living crap out of the Democrats this time, so they'll think twice about being uppity next time. That's all I got. My name's the Common Constitutionalist. This whole thing I didn't ask to like, subscribe, hit the alert button, comment, and share. So please do that, because it makes me happy. And your job is to make me happy. It's not the other. That's all I got. See you.